Unexpected call from a millionaire CEO reveals life-changing truth when a little girl answers. Lily sat at the front desk of her mother's diner, the faint sounds of sizzling griddles and low chatter swirling around her like a comforting blanket. It wasn't much, just a small suburban establishment that emphasized simplicity, like the lives of the folks who came in. A knot of unease twisted in her stomach. Her brother Ethan was out there dazzling his teachers, while she struggled to be anyone at all. It felt like success was a distant star, bright and beautiful, yet utterly unreachable. Picking up the phone, she overheard her mom tell someone they had wrong numbers all day. She replied softly, "Good morning, Harrington Enterprises." It wasn't long before a deep, authoritative voice filled her ear. David Harrington. There was something captivating about it, rich with experiences she could only dream of. Her heart raced, not in fear, but exhilaration. She faltered, unsure of how to greet a millionaire. "I'm Lily," she managed, apprehensive yet curious. An unusual conversation flowed. She spoke of her drawings, vivid worlds that danced in her sketches, of dreams tucked away under layers of self-doubt. "I want to be an artist," she confessed. There was silence on the other line. Then David shared pieces of his past, how he had faced struggles much like hers. Intrigued by their exchange, she had found not just a stranger's voice, but a unique connection. She learned that hope could spark in the unlikeliest places. But when Lily's mother found out about the call, her face blanched. "You don't know who he is. This isn't some TV show, Lily. We can't afford distractions." Her mother's words slammed against Lily like a wall. Tension filled their small home like smoke from a burning fire. How could someone who worked so hard to provide for them be so afraid of dreams? Lily felt her heart drop. How could she explain to her mother that she just wanted to be seen? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days passed, the local art competition creeping ever closer on the calendar like a storm cloud. Each time she picked up her brush, doubt hung in the air, stifling her creativity. What if she failed? What if her mother's fears proved true? The whispers of self-doubt twisted with anxiety, tearing at her. And yet, the thought of David's encouragement echoed a chance to shine, to declare her passion boldly to those who may share her plight. The night before the competition, Lily stood in front of her easel, her canvas stark and white like a blank page of her life. Across the street, the diner buzzed with laughter, but it felt miles away. Would her art scream loud enough for anyone to hear? Distorted echoes of past disappointments and unmet expectations swirled in her mind. With every stroke of paint, she felt the rift with her mother widen, a chasm filled with love, yet overshadowed by fear. As the day approached, the single brush of hope still flickered within her. If she stepped onto that stage, would she become who she desired? Standing there, voice quaking and heart pounding, what would it cost her to finally be seen? As dawn broke over the diner, a sliver of light crept through the window, illuminating Lily's anxious face. The clock ticked steadily, each second a reminder of the competition looming just hours away. This was it. Today, she would either confront her fears or remain shackled by them. With a deep breath, she pulled out her sketchbook, flicking through the pages of ideas she had never shared. Among the chaotic scrawls, a single image caught her attention, a girl reaching out toward the sky, cosmic colors swirling around her. It dawned on Lily that this art wasn't just a representation of her dreams. It was a literal embodiment of the yearning she felt to break free. She closed her eyes, allowing the shroud of self-doubt to release its grip. This was her moment to voice what had been silent for so long. Yet, as she gathered her paints, her heart sunk at the thought of her mother's reaction if she were to fail. "You are just a little girl," echoed in her mind, a sentiment she had heard too often, even from those who loved her most. In that moment, the memories of conversations with David flashed before her. His words rolled over her like waves from the ocean, urging her to recognize her worth. He didn't tell her it would be easy. He simply reminded her that pursuing her passions was an act of courage. Was it too much to ask for at least a sliver of that courage today? The sun climbed higher, and the hours slipped by, each tick amplifying the tension in her heart. After a breakfast of coffee and toast, Lily caught her mother's eyes across the diner. There, in the bustling environment of the familiar, Lily witnessed her mother's latent struggles beneath the surface, the masked fear and hopes locked behind a stoic expression. They were two girls bound together by love, yet divided by despair. A sudden clarity washed over her. If she were brave enough to step forward, perhaps it could inspire her mother too. She needed to shed the fears as much for herself as for the unfulfilled dreams of the woman who had sacrificed everything for her. Could they both find an ounce of freedom in their respective journeys? Abruptly, she made her decision. Her trembling fingers reached for the brush, determined to pour every emotion into the canvas. Each mix of color became her catalyst, guided by a force she could no longer ignore. Incrementally, her strokes morphed into scenes filled with vibrant warmth and unrestrained imagination. Time evaporated, and as the final touches fell into place, Lily glanced nervously at her watch, an alarming reminder of the competition's imminent start. With her heart pounding in her throat, she turned to face her mother, hoping for a glimmer of understanding or support. "Mama, I'm leaving for the competition," she called, her voice barely a whisper laced with tension. Her mother looked up, the sudden shift in her demeanor palpable. Flowers of disappointment blossomed in her gaze. "Do you really think you can? I need to do this, Mom. For me. For us," Lily interrupted, her resolve solid. The air surrounding them crackled with unspoken fears and untapped potential. Could she push through her mother's misunderstanding, crack the shell of expectations that held her hostage, and step into the light? As she stepped out of the diner and into the day, the warmth of the sun was both a blessing and a challenge. With each step toward the competition, doubt mingled with hope. Would the world respond to her desire to be seen? Could she prove to herself and to her mother that she was more than just a little girl? As the venue loomed ahead, vibrant and alive with energy, she felt the gravity of the moment. The time had come to face her fears head-on and merge dreams with reality. But would she be brave enough to rise on the other side? The path forward was unknown, tangled with uncertainty. With an anxious breath, Lily pushed through the doors, the echoes of her self-doubt trailing behind her. The stage awaited, and so did the voice of her heart. What awaited her on that platform? Inside the venue, the air thickened with anticipation, an electric buzz of talent and ambition that made Lily's pulse quicken. She scanned the room, eyes darting from one vibrant piece to another, each canvas a representation of dreams and struggles. The walls felt alive, yet her heartbeat resonated with a different rhythm, throbbing erratically as she searched for a spot to collect her thoughts. With every passing minute, the kaleidoscope of emotions within her intensified, a blend of fear and tenacity. Where she had envisioned art as a tranquil refuge, it had now morphed into a battleground. She could hear the whispers of her insecurities creeping back in, taunting her with the familiar refrain, "What if you fail?" Lily shook her head, desperate to dispel the lingering echoes. It was time to silence the doubts. For too long, they had dictated her path, dragging her down into the undercurrent of what she believed she could become. She drew in a deep breath, reminding herself that her place was not determined by the judgments of others. Abandoning the chaos swirling in her mind, she sought solace in her sketchbook, flipping through the pages until she landed back on the image of the girl reaching toward the sky. It was a reminder of her journey, the vibrant colors representing not just aspiration but resilience. Perhaps this was more than a competition, it was a statement. Each stroke on that canvas had birthed courage within her. What if, instead of viewing her art as a challenge, she embraced it as a gift to herself, to her mother, and anyone who dared to dream? Just as she began to steel herself, her gaze was drawn to a group gathered in front of the main stage. The judges, an array of accomplished artists, scrutinized the talent before them, and there he stood, David, an unexpected face in the crowd. He caught her eye and offered a subtle nod, a silent promise of support that surged through her like a rising tide. The mere sight of him anchored her wavering confidence, igniting a spark deep within. Maybe she wouldn't have to face this daunting moment alone. As her turn approached, she observed her competitors, each absorbed in the swell of enthusiasm and anxiety around them. The weight of their own expectations pressed heavy on their shoulders, yet they radiated a shared understanding. This was their moment of vulnerability, a vivid canvas for them to paint their stories. Every artist in this room had fought their battles. Every brushstroke was a testament to resilience. Her heart thudded loudly in her ears, but in that collective vulnerability, she found a measure of strength. Perhaps their fears mirrored her own, and in that realization lay a tether of connection. More than self-expression, her art might serve as a beacon to others, challenging the narrative that being just a little girl meant being unheard. With her name called, Lily felt her legs carry her toward the stage, a quiet confidence emerging from somewhere deep inside her. The spotlight warmed her skin, but in that moment of exposure and potential, she chose to focus not on fear, but on the voice she had finally decided to embrace. "Hi, my name is Lily. I want to show you what dreams look like when they're painted with courage," she declared, the tremor in her voice solidifying into clarity. An audible shift rippled through the audience, a blend of intrigue and empathy, as she began to share her story. Yet just as she poured her heart into each word, a stirring realization unfurled within her. Vulnerability was both painful and liberating. The tension tightened, a revelation of the stakes at play, not just in a competition, but in the very fabric of who she was becoming. As her words flowed, recounting moments of self-doubt and bravado, she channeled her emotions into the artwork behind her. The vibrant hues spoke of resilience, while the girl reaching for the sky mirrored her journey, urging her forward. But as the last note of her presentation faded, an unsettling silence enveloped the room. The judges exchanged glances, a tension lacing their expressions. Lily's heart raced. Had she touched them? Had her story broken through the barriers she feared? Then, one of the judges leaned forward, a question lingering in their eyes, one that would hold the potential to reshape Lily's path forever. "What does this mean for you, moving forward?" Before she could formulate a response, the air shifted, anticipated yet filled with uncertainty. How would she answer such a pivotal inquiry, knowing it would dictate not just this moment, but the essence of her journey ahead? In the heavy silence that followed the judge's question, Lily's mind raced, grappling not only with the inquiry itself but what it represented, a crossroads in her life, a decision that could redefine her. For a moment, she stood suspended in time, the memories of her childhood dreams colliding with the reality of her present. What did it mean for her moving forward? She felt the weight of all those years spent doubting her talent, questioning her worthiness, and wrestling with the fear of failure. Opening her mouth to respond, she instinctively shut it again, not ready to shape her thoughts into words that could either uplift or unravel her. As the moments slipped by, the dread crawled back in, whispering insidiously. Would they see her as merely a scared girl who dared to dream too big? She squared her shoulders, drawing upon the courage that had fueled her earlier. Maybe it was time to embrace that fear rather than be consumed by it. "Art is my voice," she started, her voice gaining strength as she spoke. "It's how I express everything that's inside me, the joy, the fear, the hope. Moving forward means I want to just create for myself. I want to show others that nothing is too big to reach for if you're willing to take the risk. It means using my voice so that other girls who feel small can see that they're capable of greatness too." She saw nods among the audience, an unseen affirmation, and the thought bolstered her resolve. The judge leaned back, seemingly impressed, but her heart was still racing, adrenaline surging through her. This wasn't just a pitch. This was a mission. As she returned to her seat, a brief flip of the collar from David reignited her steely determination. He believed in her. Perhaps she should start believing in herself too. The energy in the room shifted, and she caught snippets of conversation around her, hints of admiration cascading through a sea of artists who had likely walked similar paths of self-doubt and dream-chasing. Suddenly, everything began to crystallize in her mind, a vision of what could be. With every brushstroke, she could illuminate the dark spaces that often enveloped dreams, spaces where fear and self-doubt lingered. She felt a renewed sense of purpose welling inside, the words she had spoken sparking a deep desire to translate her experiences into vibrant colors. But then, As her heart warmed with potential, a single thought sent a chill down her spine. What if it wasn't enough? The looming uncertainty twisted in her stomach, but she recognized the feeling as a cue, a signal to dig deeper. Could she explore this newfound mission further, using her craft to reach those girls who felt unheard, unseen, unworthy? She turned her gaze back to the judges, who were now engaged in deep discussion. Among the murmurs, one direction caught her ear. "We see a raw talent that needs to be harnessed," one judge remarked. "But what truly stands out is her potential. There's significant investment to be made, and it could mean a mentorship, guiding her toward her ultimate dreams." The word investment resonated loudly, electrifying her spirit, but also raising a million questions. Was she ready for them? How much would she have to change, and would she lose herself in the process? These thoughts tangled in her mind, weaving uncertainty into ambition, both a motivator and a tethering weight. Finally, the judges turned back to face the audience, their expressions serious yet hopeful. "Lily," one called brightly, "we'd like to speak with you further about the path we envision. Are you ready to take this next step?" The room became an expanse of eager eyes, all fixated on her. This was at the moment she had both yearned for and dreaded. Would she grasp this opportunity firmly, or allow her doubts to hold her back? The stakes felt impossibly high, and still, she found the tiniest flicker of belief igniting her determination. "Absolutely," she replied, less a question and more a declaration, infusing each syllable with the courage she had just nurtured. As applause erupted around her, Lily felt an urgent pull inside, a sense that she was on the verge of something bigger than herself. Could she truly navigate this new territory and maintain her authenticity amidst the swirling changes about to unfold? The weight of uncharted waters set her heart racing once more, as a whisper of doubt lingered. This was just the beginning. The real challenge was looming ahead. What sacrifices would she need to make? And in pursuing this newfound direction, could she risk losing the very parts of herself she had fought so hard to embrace? With questions flooding her mind, she stepped off the stage, the echoes of applause trailing behind her, her soul uncertain, yet propelled forward into a world awaiting her next brave creation. Lily stepped out of the spotlight and into the muted chaos backstage, her heart pounding with a mix of exhilaration and fear. It felt both thrilling and disorienting, like stepping off a moving train. She was no longer just a participant in a competition. She was now standing at the threshold of something monumental. Glimmers of recognition from her peers brought a smile to her face, yet doubts flitted around her mind like moths attracted to a flame. What did it truly mean to accept mentorship? What if those who extended a helping hand were merely looking to mold her into something she wasn't? She had cherished her unique voice for so long. Fiercely guarding the essence of who she was as an artist, would she risk alteration in pursuit of success? "Lily, wait up." David's voice broke through her spiraling thoughts, and she turned to see him rushing towards her, his expression a mix of excitement and concern. "You were amazing out there," he exclaimed, wrapping her in a tight hug. "I could see the fire in your eyes. Your message resonated." "Thanks, David." She couldn't mask her nervousness, fidgeting with the hem of her blouse. "But what if they want to change everything I stand for? What if they don't understand my vision?" David stepped back, holding her shoulders firmly. "They see potential, and that's something worth pursuing. You're strong, Lily. Use this as a stepping stone rather than an anchor." His sincerity cut through her uncertainty, offering her a moment of clarity. "What if it's a trap?" she blurted, frustration clawing at her insides. He hesitated, his brow furrowing. "You know it's okay to be apprehensive, but you're in control of your journey. You have the power to define your narrative." That had the ring of truth. Her mission was hers alone, and perhaps embracing change didn't mean relinquishing her artistic soul. It could instead be a challenge to elevate what she had always wished to represent. For the first time in a long while, Lily felt a twinge of hope. She was standing at a crossroads, not just of opportunity, but of growth. She took a deep breath, the stifling weight of doubt loosening its grip. "I think I'm ready to explore this. To learn, to grow, and maybe even to teach others along the way." "Now that's the spirit." David cheered, his enthusiasm infectious. As they walked toward the exit, Lily's thoughts danced with possibilities. each step fueled by a determination to nurture her ambitions and advocate for those young girls who felt voiceless. She imagined vibrant canvases depicting resilience and courage, stories woven in every brushstroke, tales that could inspire a shift in perspective for those feeling lost. Yet with every flicker of inspiration came the looming specter of vulnerability. She wasn't just presenting her art. She was unveiling her essence to stakeholders whose expectations could clash with her vision. Reaching the parking lot, an unfamiliar gleam caught her eye. A black luxury car edged into the lot, stopping inches from her. The door swung open dramatically, revealing a well-dressed woman sporting a confident smile. "Lily," the woman called, and the voice felt oddly familiar. "I'm here to discuss your future not just as an artist, but as a leader." Emotions surged through Lily's veins at the prospect of a powerful conversation ahead. What direction would this encounter take? Who was this seemingly important figure, and what could she possibly want? The woman beckoned her closer with an inviting gesture, a world of possibility shimmering in the air between them. Lily's pulse quickened with a blend of excitement and apprehension. What does she mean by leader? She wondered silently. Was she prepared to wear that mantle? Stepping forward into the unknown, Lily realized that with every turn, there came new questions and corners to navigate, shadows of doubt lingering, but also hope ignited by courage. What would this new chapter reveal about her true potential? The journey was only beginning, and the next move would reveal paths she had yet to even imagine. Lily approached the luxurious car, the polished surface reflecting her image back to her, but with a myriad of questions swirling in her mind. The well-dressed woman stood elegantly beside the vehicle, her confident stance contrasting sharply with Lily's internal turbulence. Who was she? Why had she sought Lily out? "Let us talk," the woman said, her tone imbued with urgency yet tinged with kindness. "We have much to discuss, and I believe you're ready for this." Lily hesitated for a fraction of a second. What could this meeting mean for her vision? As she slid into the plush leather seat, a mix of uncertainty and opportunity mingled like oil and water. The woman joined her, extending a hand. "I'm Miranda Steele, CEO of Steele Enterprises. I've followed your journey, and I see potential in you not just as an artist, but as someone who could inspire others to be bold in their pursuits." Her words resonated like a chord struck on a piano, vibrating through Lily's very core. "Thank you, but I'm not sure what that entails." "A chance for mentorship," Miranda responded. "But it's more than that. I want to help you harness your unique voice and influence your audience on a much larger scale." Lily's apprehension mounted as she sensed the weight of Miranda's expectations. "Why me? There are countless talented artists out there." "Precisely why you stand out," Miranda replied, her eyes locking onto Lily's with an intensity that made her feel both seen and scrutinized. "Your authenticity is your strength. It's a rare quality in this industry, and that authenticity connects with others. I'm not here to change you, but to empower you to make the best of your capabilities." Questions thrummed silently within her. Would this mean compromising her essence? Was she ready to navigate the challenges that come with the pursuit of greatness? "What about integrity?" Lily inquired, her voice steadier than she felt. "What if I lose it along the way?" Miranda leaned back, her expression thoughtful. "Integrity flourishes in clarity. Art remains on a journey to truth, and you must harness your passion to create a narrative that reflects who you are. You will face pressures, yes, but it's essential to stay true to your story." The weight of responsibility seeped into the conversation. Changing the world was no small task, but the idea bloomed in her, igniting her resolve. If she could combine her art with a leadership role, she could influence change, empower others, and remain true to herself. "Show me the way." "Then," Lily responded, her voice emboldened by a sense of purpose she hadn't felt before. "I am ready to explore this, but I need guidance that retains my vision." Miranda's smile widened, revealing confidence in Lily's determination. "Let us draft a plan to elevate not just your art, but your presence. But first, tell me, what do you deeply care about in your work?" As Lily began to articulate her visions of empowerment through art, she felt layers of self-doubt begin to unfurl. Each word helped crystallize her purpose, transforming her passion into a tangible direction. It was a seismic shift, a blending of her ambitions as an artist and her desires as a leader, and she embraced it wholeheartedly. Yet beneath that newfound confidence lay a lingering fear. With every high-stakes choice, the potential for missteps increased. In this world of pressure and expectation, could she maintain the authenticity that defined her? As the conversation unfolded, mentoring her to flourish into an advocate for the voiceless, new revelations about her capabilities started to emerge. They not only fueled her enthusiasm, but compelled Lily to confront discomfort head-on, a direct challenge to the persona she had crafted for herself. However, amid this stirring evolution, shadows crisscrossed her path. A growing awareness urged her to remain vigilant. Could the mentorship be a double-edged sword? As they wrapped up their discussion, Miranda leaned closer. Let us take this momentum and find ways to access your deeper motivations. Are you ready for the challenges ahead? Lily's heart raced, infused with excitement but tethered by an undercurrent of fear, a poignant reminder of the balancing act she faced. Absolutely, she replied, aware that with every layer of ambition stripped away, new vulnerabilities would follow. Yet the spark in her spirit darkened into something curious, as if a part of her was holding back, wondering where the journey would lead. Was she about to step into a world that remained at odds with her identity? With the shaping of her next steps looming, she had to decide. Would she embrace the unfolding agenda, risk the authenticity she cherished, or forge a path still in tandem with who she was? The weight of her decision settled heavily on her shoulders, tightening around her as Miranda glanced at her thoughtfully. Each passing moment vibrated with unspoken possibilities, and in this pivotal moment, Lily realized the true nature of her journey had yet to fully reveal itself. In these labyrinthine stakes, she understood the path ahead would be challenging, testing the fabric of her identity at every turn. Would she emerge on the other side as the artist she hoped to be, or become a reflection of someone else's ambitions? As they stepped out of the car, the air thick with newfound intentions, Lily prepared to confront these eternal questions that lingered in the air like whispers of the unknown. The next chapter in her journey awaited, and the stakes were higher than she had ever imagined. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows on the pavement as Lily walked away from the luxury car, the cool evening air brushing against her skin. Her heart raced with a mix of exhilaration and dread. The conversation with Miranda had ignited something deep within her, a flicker of ambition entwined with a lingering fear of losing herself. As she made her way home, her mind buzzed with plans and possibilities. Would she truly be able to differentiate her own voice from the cacophony of industry expectations? Art, to her, had always been a sanctuary, a refuge where she could explore her innermost thoughts and feelings. Now, she faced the prospect of navigating through a minefield of commercial pressures while staying true to that sanctuary. Later that night, surrounded by the comforting clutter of her studio, the splatters of paint on the floor, the canvases leaning against the walls, Lily picked up a brush. Yet, as she stared at the blank canvas before her, the familiar rush of creative energy transformed into an ominous silence. She dipped the brush into vibrant hues, but each stroke that followed felt hesitant, questioning. Was she painting for herself or for an unseen audience judging every move? Picking up her journal to jot down her fears, she found comfort in writing about her uncertainties. She noted how Miranda's mentorship could provide a critical opportunity or a subtle descent into a creatively stifling environment. Each word pinned down felt like a small act of rebellion against the apprehension buzzing inside her. The next day brought a new resolve. Lily understood she had to hone her goals not just to respond to Miranda's expectations, but to listen to her own voice, the one that whispered insistently about authenticity. She began sketching ideas for a series that represented her journey, exploring themes of identity and self-empowerment. This, she told herself, could serve as her compass. However, self-doubt loomed like a specter, teasing her with thoughts of inadequacy. What if the art wasn't good enough? What if her sincerity didn't translate with the audience Miranda envisioned? Each hesitation pushed back against the budding confidence she had felt just the day before. As she prepared for her first meeting with Miranda, adrenaline surged through her. Clad in a simple yet artistic outfit, she felt a mix of boldness and vulnerability. Would she show Miranda the sketches? Would the CEO embrace her true vision or navigate her towards something more commercial? The stakes felt impossibly high. Miranda's office was a testament to her success. Surreal art pieces and elegant decor surrounded them as they sat down. Lily's hands trembled ever so slightly as she presented her sketches, her pulse quickening with anticipation. "I want to create work that speaks to those grappling with self-worth," she began, her voice steady. "Art that challenges societal molds and empowers individuals to accept their true selves." Miranda studied the sketches intently, and for a moment, silence filled the room. "You have something powerful here," she finally said, her eyes brightening. "But tell me," she leaned forward, "why do you feel drawn to this theme?" Uncertain but determined, Lily took a breath. "Because I've struggled with my own identity. I know what it feels like to question if you're enough." "That honesty will resonate immensely," Miranda remarked, her voice firm. "But you need to harness that journey into a narrative. The world craves authenticity, Lily, and you have that in abundance." The encouragement shifted Lily's perspective. It placed responsibility on her. She couldn't just create. She had to connect deeply with her audience. Every brush stroke would be an act of discovery, a revelation. Yet as their meeting progressed, Miranda offered suggestions that nudged at her insecurities. "Consider this piece from a market approach. Align it with contemporary trends. I can help with the logistics." Each strategic suggestion felt both like an invitation and a challenge, pressing against her notions of integrity. After their discussion, as she stepped back into the bustling streets, the weight of the world began to sit differently on her shoulders. This was not merely a venture, but a transformative journey where every decision could reshape her artistically and personally. In the days that followed, balancing her growing aspirations with the uncertainty of embracing the commercial aspects in her work formulated a mental tug-of-war. The thrill of potential success wrestled with the fear that achievement might come at the cost of losing herself. As the series began to take shape, each brush stroke ignited both passion and trepidation, confronting the duality of her ambition. Would she find a way to merge her true self with the entrepreneurial spirit Miranda encouraged? The inner tumult transformed into something more profound, a recognition that she was not just an artist, but also a pioneer of her narrative. Would this journey cultivate the woman she envisioned, or would the shadows of doubt cling tighter? With each passing moment, Lily recognized that the upcoming exhibition loomed closer, embodying everything she had begun to reflect on. Fear mingled with excitement, but clarity tightened its grip. She must navigate not just for herself, but for those whose stories echoed her own. Deep inside, she felt the call to reveal something raw and unfettered through her art, even if it meant stepping outside comfort zones. The relentless tension of her journey now felt like an intricate dance between ambition and authenticity. And as she layered paint onto canvas, the looming exhibition called to her. Could this be the moment she revealed not just her art, but also her unfiltered self? Would her debut stand as an anchor for other voices lost in uncertainty? In the depths of her heart, the answer awaited, tangled, messy, and deeply authentic, just like art itself. The time had come to explore how far she would go to ensure that what she created would reflect not just her soul, but also the truths she needed to uncover. As the days dwindled before the exhibition, the atmosphere in Lily's studio transformed from creative excitement to an almost suffocating pressure. Each day's work shifted between inspiration and frustration, as if the paint itself held the power to echo her inner turmoil. The canvases began to fill with vivid colors and stark contrasts, mirroring her shifting emotional state, ecstasy interspersed with dread. In the early hours, she often found herself pacing the floor, wrestling with her intentions. What if she didn't express the depth of her vision? What if the audience only saw the surface, the bright colors that masked her insecurities rather than the message of empowerment she sought to impart? The fear of disappointment weighed heavily on her conscious mind. Lily decided she couldn't lean solely on Miranda's guidance. Her voice had to transcend the commercial expectations. It was an insistent whisper evolving into a confident call. She needed to embody her truth, no matter how vulnerable it made her feel. The battles inside fueled further exploration into the core of her artistic voice. This blend of chaos and clarity pushed her to remain authentic amidst the clamor of external influence. One afternoon, While reviewing previous sketches, an unexpected urge surged within her. It urged her to incorporate elements from her childhood, where her true creativity blossomed uninhibited. This began the birth of a new series that captured the whimsical imagination of her younger self. She scanned through old photographs, glimpses of a curious girl delighting in color, daring to create without the weight of expectation. That child's spirit had faded, yet it beckoned her back to simplicity, to joyous expression, without the chains of external approval. As the exhibition neared, she resolved to draw on the theme of rebirth, the concept of rediscovery, and reclaiming her authentic voice. With renewed purpose, she navigated the canvases with an intensity that resonated with every stroke. They became her confessions, each piece a testament to her growth and vulnerability. But while she flourished in the solitude of her studio, doubt curdled in the back of her mind. The fear of Miranda's response hung there like a fog, thin yet persistent. What if her mentor regarded this new direction with skepticism? Would she deem the reintroduction of childlike wonder unsuitable for a commercial audience? With the finished pieces propped against the walls, Lily prepared for her final meeting with Miranda before the exhibition. Her heart quickened as she reflected on everything she had fought for, the clarity born from chaos and self-assertion, yet there was still a niggling fear lurking in the back of her mind. Choosing authenticity over financial safety felt risky, a gamble that could either fail spectacularly or resonate deeply. Entering Miranda's office one last time, the art pieces accompanied her like unseen guardians. This was it, her moment of ultimate truth-telling. Miranda sat poised, and as Lily revealed the new works, anxiety loomed over her like a thundercloud. "These pieces are about returning to my roots," Lily declared, her voice steadier than her heart raced. "I want to show the world that finding oneself is often a whimsical journey, filled with both dreams and fears." Miranda studied each piece, an inscrutable expression on her face that twisted Lily's insides. "This is unexpected," she remarked after a pause, a hint of intrigue weaving through her words. "It's different from what I expected, but deeply authentic." The air thickened as Lily's stomach churned. Would this lead to acceptance or a disconnect? The risk of exposing herself to Miranda's judgment heightened every nerve in her body. "I think it aligns more with your initial direction, yet it challenges convention," Miranda continued, leaning back in her chair. "However, you will need to consider how the art market will react. Are you prepared for the fallout?" The question lingered, shifting the dance of tension into a new realm of existential inquiry. Yes, but the resolve in her voice could not mask the fear that clawed at her interior. Was she truly ready to fully embrace her journey? The implications of that affirmation flooded her thoughts. It wasn't just about her ability to navigate an exhibition. It was about daring to present her authenticity to the world, facing the potential backlash and celebrating the freedom with which she had created. As the conversation continued, Miranda urged her to think analytically about presentation and marketing, further tugging her toward the corporate mentality that she hesitated to embrace. Yet, within this exchange, Lily felt a fierceness awaken, a resolve to hold on to her story in dynamic, creative ways. With the exhibition only days away, Lily wondered, could she truly maintain both her integrity and Miranda's expectations? Would her heartfelt pieces resonate, or would they disappear into the noise? The ticking clock pressed upon her a reminder that time was running short, and the stakes had never been higher. This was not just an exhibition. It was an assertion of self against the backdrop of potential commercial success. Each canvas, brimming with possibility, now felt like a reflection of herself, challenging her to trust in her journey. Breathe, she thought, knowing the next step could lead her deeper into either success or despair. Would she rise, holding the weight of her truth high, or crumble beneath the burdens of expectation? As she prepared for the unveiling, an unsettling realization struck her. Converting her personal narrative into public domain might be the greatest challenge she ever faced. This looming question pierced her heart, revealing the profound uncertainty of what it meant to genuinely share one's self with the world. The moment of truth approached, but with it came a deliciously terrifying possibility. What if her art sparked a movement, igniting the passions of others who struggled with their identities, too? As she stood before her completed series, the vibrant colors pulsing with her essence. A thought gripped her. How would she navigate the aftermath of such vulnerability? Would she find the strength necessary to face whatever came next? The morning light spilled through the tall windows of Lily's studio, illuminating the vibrant hues of her final canvases. Yet, rather than feeling exhilarated, a sense of dread settled at the pit of her stomach, like a stone too heavy to lift. The impending exhibition loomed over her like a tempest, exciting yet fearsome. Lily had poured her soul into her art, revisiting her childhood perspective with unrestrained curiosity, but now, she felt beleaguered by the enormity of what she was about to face. As the day of the exhibition approached, self-doubt morphed into an unwelcome companion. What if passers-by dismissed her work, failing to see the deeper stories woven into her childlike wonder? What if they only saw the splashes of color, interpreting them as mere decoration rather than the powerful journey of rediscovery she intended to convey? Each worst-case scenario clawed at her heart, threatening to dismantle her confidence piece by piece. In moments of solitude, flashes of the curious girl she once was reminded her of the unfiltered passion for creation that had spurred her forward. She would need to channel that spirit, Lily thought, but translating that youthful exuberance into adult authenticity felt like walking a tightrope, balancing between genuine expression and external validation. Days before the exhibition, in her quiet studio, Lily made a conscious decision to reframe her mindset. Instead of fixating on the fear of judgment, she resolved to view the exhibition as an opportunity and invitation to share her truth, to connect with others who might recognize their own struggles in her work. As she worked tirelessly alongside her canvases, the creative energy felt almost palpable, wrapping around her like a protective haze. The day prior to the exhibition, in a moment of reckless determination, she painted an additional piece, a large canvas filled with swirling colors and playful shapes that captured the essence of her younger self dancing through an imaginary landscape. The spontaneity of the stroke felt liberating, an uncalculated risk that breathed new life into her collection. She could almost see her childhood self smiling back at her from the canvas. With her art now entwined with her identity, Lily turned her focus to the exhibition's logistics. She wrestled with her marketing strategy, another layer to the authenticity she sought to uphold. Should she emphasize her personal journey, or would a more polished narrative overshadow her artistic intent? This dilemma gnawed at her, a threat to the integrity of her message. As she prepared her pieces for the gallery, Lily practiced her speech to deliver to the audience. She envisioned standing before them, sharing the stories behind each work, the memories of a child at play and the fears of a woman grappling with her truth. Yet, amidst her rehearsals, a discomfort settled deep within. How would she convey her message without losing herself in interpretation? Amid these thoughts, a notification pinged on her phone. It was a message from Miranda, echoing just as Lily's resolve began to solidify. "We need to discuss our strategy before the exhibition. Let us meet in the morning." The request sent a new wave of anxiety coursing through her. Rather than allowing it to detract from her readiness, Lily embraced it as an opportunity to articulate her vision, to defend the essence of her work. She tapped her fingers against the paint-splattered table, a surge of determination rising within her. "Tomorrow," she whispered to herself, "I'll express what this means to me." As evening crept in, the studio stood still, the canvases silent witnesses to her burgeoning fortitude. The events of tomorrow signified not only an exhibition, but perhaps a moment of personal liberation, a chance to reclaim her voice in a world that often sought to silence it. With a deep breath, she stepped back from the last piece, admiration for her work growing with each passing moment. Could her art embark on a new journey beyond mere exhibition? The thought lingered in the air, promising to sow the seeds of change. Yet, a new apprehension emerged. What if the conversation with Miranda escalated from discussions of marketing to challenges against her authenticity? Would she be able to stand firm? As she closed her eyes, the question echoed in her mind. Could she hold true to her vision, or would she risk the possibility of commercial expectations devouring the very essence of her art? The critical conversation with Miranda awaited her, and tomorrow would unveil not just the exhibition, but the profound depths of her own self-confidence. What awaited her at dawn? The day of the exhibition dawned with a vibrant sun that spilled warmth and light over the city. For the first time in weeks, Lily felt a sense of assurance cascade over her. As she arranged her canvases, each one a testament to her journey of reclaiming her authentic voice, a flicker of excitement overshadowed her fears. This was not simply an exhibition. It was her declaration to the world. Arriving at the gallery, she took a moment to soak in the atmosphere. The walls vibrated with energy, the whispers of anticipation, the buzz of visitors milling about, and the glimmer of hope resonating between her artworks. Her pieces, set against the backdrop of crisp white frames, stood proud. They symbolized both her personal struggle and ultimate triumph over self-doubt. Retreating into her thoughts, she reflected on the profound transformation she had undergone. Just months ago, she felt invisible, like an artist trapped in the shadows of expectations. But now, she stood in the light, forging a new identity not dictated by others, but sculpted with every brush stroke of her creativity. Her mission blossomed into clarity. She aspired to empower those who, like her, grappled with feelings of inadequacy. Then, as if on cue, Miranda appeared. Dressed impeccably, she surveyed the gallery with an eagle eye, and for a moment, Lily's insecurities crept back. Was this mentor truly on her side? Would she critique the raw energy that now sparked through Lily's art? "Lily," Miranda called, her voice warm yet authoritative. "I'm excited to hear you present your vision to the audience." As they spoke, the conversation was imbued with the tension of opportunity and apprehension. It felt like standing at the edge of a precipice. Nervous yet resolved, Lily shared her thoughts on the exhibition's theme. "This series reflects my journey of rediscovery art as a medium to connect and uplift others. I want young girls to feel empowered, to understand that they are more than just little versions of themselves." Miranda nodded, an approving smile breaking across her face. "That's exactly what we need to walk the fine line between art and marketability, capturing your essence, while engaging an audience that's a challenge worth taking. Let us harness it." In the next instant, the crowd began to gather, and Lily's heart raced as she prepared to address her audience. Standing before a group of curious eyes, she felt the weight of her journey behind her, a tangible force propelling her forward. There were jitters, but not the unease of before. This was electric, a moment of purpose unveiling itself. "Hello, everyone. I'm Lily," she began, her voice steadying with each word. "Today, I want to share with you what art means to me, not just what you're looking at on these canvases, but the stories they tell about believing in oneself." With every sentence, she unveiled fragments of her truth, interweaving her struggles and revelations. It was no longer about the fear of judgment. It became a challenge to inspire. With each narrative strand, Lily crafted a connection that transcended her brushstrokes, creating a resonance in the hearts around her. The audience leaned into her words, and she could see their engagement shifting from mere observers to active participants. As she concluded, applause erupted and Lily felt exhilaration and relief wash over her. Not only had she shared her heart, but she had ultimately connected it with others, demonstrating that vulnerability breeds strength. In that singular moment, she conquered the greatest fear, the fear of being seen and accepted for who she truly was. After the presentation, many approached her with words of encouragement. Gallery owners, fellow artists, and even attendees with similar stories shared how her art touched them. The validation wrapped around Lily like a warm mantle. It was a newfound confidence recognizing her competence, an established position as an artist who not only created but also inspired. As she sought Miranda to express her gratitude, she found her mentor smiling broadly. "You've done an incredible job. This was your moment of truth, and you came through it not just as an artist, but as a leader," she commended. "Let us discuss how we can build on this momentum and reach a wider audience." For the first time, Lily didn't feel like she was stepping onto someone else's platform. She realized she was becoming a part of a larger narrative, one that she could shape. The recognition she had achieved wasn't an end. It marked the beginning of something profound. In the days that followed, Lily took control, developing her brand and narrative while writing proposals for workshops aimed at young aspiring artists. She began to see the impact of her art extend beyond canvases and into lives, her voice empowering others to overcome their doubts. With a solid confidence no longer tethered by fear, Lily stepped into her future, knowing she had not only proved her worth, but also made strides toward upliftment for girls everywhere. She had achieved what she thought was impossible, turning her passion into purpose, and now she was unequivocally ready for what lay ahead. This was the moment of transformation she had yearned for, a personal achievement intertwined with her artistic vision, a journey dedicated to unleashing the power of authenticity, proving that dreaming big begins with having the courage to be oneself. Now, as you reflect on this story, remind yourself to embrace your own journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your thoughts and reactions about this conclusion. And you need to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to share. Your support means the world to creators like us.